This is the creative menu, and it sucks. If I want to build something out of sandstone, here's some sandstone here, and here's some slabs, and there's another slab down. Oh, wait, there's some stairs, and then there's a wall over here in what looks like the plant tab. So these tabs are useless. If I want to build something out of sandstone, what I do is I search sandstone, and then most of the time when I need a block, I middle click off of what I already have and then place it. So what I did was rearrange every single item to make the creative menu just so much more useful. And how I did that was by just a couple simple principles. I put like palettes together. No one is ever gonna scroll down to this slabs mess, take a couple slabs, and then build something that looks like this. What happens is people want all of their warps wood and build something like this. That's what people want to build. So that's what I did. All of the red sandstone is next to each other. All of the blackstone is next to each other. Although blackstone is currently over here, but endstone isn't next to each other. Here's endstone bricks, here's endstone bricks, and then there's another endstone brick all the way, I don't know, somewhere. There it is. Why is it like that? It's so much simpler. Just put the pallets next to each other. Put all the cobblestone next to each other. And for blocks that don't belong in a pallet, like the bone block, I just put it near the top. So instead of this block of coal or this hay bale being nothing like hay bale, so it's very easy to miss, I just put all the unique blocks near the top. So instead of scrolling super fast and missing it, it's near the top, so you can scroll slowly and find it. And then I also allowed empty spaces in the creative menu. Right now there are empty spaces. Here's a whole bunch of empty space. But instead of it just being at the end, I made it actually do something. These empty spaces are helping keep everything aligned. And I also allowed multiple of the same item. Here's a jack-o'-lantern next to pumpkin stuff. Here's glowstone next to a respawn anchor next to beds, because those all should be next to each other. Here's glowstone and pumpkins up here with the other light sources. So by putting blocks that are used for multiple things in multiple places, they're more commonly gonna be found by people that need them. And then these top sections in like a concrete, those are like top priority real estate. Only the most commonly used blocks are going to be put here. So that's why buckets are up here. Instead of buckets being down at this tab and over here, it's just like first tab, without scrolling down, here's all the buckets. If you need to manipulate fluids, like for pretty much any build, it's right there. Bone meal, I put right at the top, because this entire plant tab, almost everything is gonna need bone meal. So I put bone meal right here. So without scrolling down, you can get your saplings and your bone meal and go around planting trees. Instead of what right now is you get your sapling, going over to miscellaneous, scrolling down past like 3 other things that look like bone meal. Here's your bone meal, and now you can place your trees. Instead, it's just right at the top. Over here, this is probably my favorite section for what I did for this. Right now, the brewing, it's horrible. Like, here's green, here's a greenish thing, but they're all pink, so it's hard to tell the difference. And this one's luck, this one's poison. Very different potions, but they look the same. So how do you make it so that you can select them? Well, here's all of the recipe items, but they're just like thrown in the middle for some reason, what I did is, here's golden carrot, here's potion of night vision, here's fermented spider eye, here's potion of invisibility. Right there. Here's all of the different night vision applicators right next to each other. So you know that these, even though it's just kind of a generic pinkish bluish color, since it's next to sugar, you know its speed. And if you're someone that doesn't know all the potion recipes, like everyone, then you can see that this potion right here, potion of healing, is next to the melon slice. So it's easy. Fermented spider eyes, since they can also do their own thing with the potion of harming, it's not a perfect table, but just by rearranging the items, there is now almost a complete built-in table of the brewing recipes in the game. Why isn't that already in the game? They have the crafting table, but you could just do this in the creative menu, and it's fixed. Over here, this is barely changed at all, except for all the items that were added after 1.9 and after were added to the end, because some of these tabs are update ordered for some reason. So down here, very useful items for combat, but you have to scroll down for them past a big wall of books and enchanted arrows that aren't in the brewing tab for some reason. So all I did was just put these unique items up at the top. So now you can get them. Here's items, or no, here's tools. Pretty standard. Ender pearls up here because that's like a tool. Why is that all the way buried down in miscellaneous? No, it's just right there. Here's a jukebox next to the discs, because it should be next to the discs. Here is obsidian, flint and steel, end portal frame, eye of ender. Right in transportation, because it should be all next to each other. Here's fireworks with 3 different flight durations. Maybe that's a little excessive. Right next to the elytra. It's simple. I'm not super sure about this, but I wanted to be experimentative for this video. So we have the monster spawner, and instead of the eggs being this big, impossible to parse wall, guess what egg this is? It's an axolotl. The axolotl egg is next to the bucket of axolotl. So now you know this is an axolotl spawn egg. And I did that for almost everything. Here's magma cube, here's magma cream. And even some of the items, like ocelot, that I couldn't figure out any items to put next to it to symbolize and notify whoever's scrolling through the menu. As you practice, you'll, like, if you're placing a bunch of axolotls or ocelots, instead of it just being, oh, it's next to these 9 other spawn eggs, you know it's next to the chest. So it's so much easier to find the ocelot egg again. And the chest is next to the mule. Or maybe that could use some aligning empty space. Here are the silverfish infested stone. Because if you're ever in creative and placing infested blocks intentionally, it's because you want a silverfish to spawn at some point. So it's next to the silverfish spawn egg. And I didn't put this here, but the search menu, when I search stone bricks, the first one shouldn't be the one that turns into a monster. It should be the actual stone bricks. And in the menu, there's some resource packs that do this. Just in the menu, there should be a little symbol here that makes it look infested. Same with the copper. The waxed copper should have a little symbol that shows that it's waxed. Because right now it looks exactly the same, except for if I hover over it and read the name. Over here, right now the redstone menu, before like 2 updates ago, it was horrible. You had to scroll down to get redstone. So if I wanted redstone, I clicked on, here's the big redstone button, and scroll down and get the redstone. They improved it and put redstone dust over here. There aren't actually that many redstone components. There's like 10, maybe. Everything else is just stuff that like interacts with redstone. So here's all the crafting tables and storage stuff and villager placement tool tables. I just put it all here because it's a unique block. I don't want to have to scroll all the way down to the bottom to get these specific types of furnaces. They're just all next to each other. The chests are on the same tab. Right now, there's a trap chest here and the other type of chest here. And back before 1.13, when you had to alternate these two to get compact chests, it was horrible because they're on separate tabs and you have to scroll down for one. And the crafting table, that's super easily accessible, and the inner chest, because those are also useful sometimes in creative mode for when you're crafting. Here are banners and dye and banner patterns and the loom all next to each other, because why are they separate? Pretty much the only time you ever want dye in creative mode is you're either making an adventure map with some items or you're making a custom banner, so they should just be next to each other. So you can press E, click those two things, and get it. I got rid of the food tab because you don't eat in creative. Maybe I shouldn't have done this, but I thought like carrots and potatoes should be in the same tab as cactuses and flowers, because when you're making a build in creative, that's what wheat and carrot and potatoes do. They make little plant things. So if I want to have a whole bunch of different plants, instead of being decoration blocks for these type of plants, then miscellaneous seeds and cocoa beans, and then food stuff, carrot and glowberries, they're all the plants are on the same tab. Also, you might not realize this if you haven't built with Coral, but Coral isn't all on the same tab currently. Coral is here's the blocks, and then here's the fans. If I'm ever building underwater natural coral reef stuff, I want both of them. I always want both of them. I'm never just using one unless I'm making a TNT duplicator. So this current situation makes as much sense as putting this in the redstone tab. They should be next to each other. And look, they're lined up. What type of dead coral fan is this? Because they all look the same. It's the purple one, or magenta one. It's right in a line. I'm gonna put this in a download link in the description. I hope someone like makes a mod, or maybe Mojang will just implement this. Not all of the ideas necessarily, but put some thought into the creative menu, because I probably play a lot more creative than any other game mode. And so I'm looking at this and it's horrible. It should be easier. Maybe they could, instead of a resource pack or a data pack, they could make a creative menu pack. But that's a little stretching it. They could just organize it. They could put these nice, colorful, like big outlined ore blocks. These are, if I just want quote a block end quote, like if I want a single pedestal, if I want a single block in a room, or if I want to count, these blocks are great. So that's why I just put them right at the front, right at the start. Maybe putting the barrier block and the mob spawner was a little too much for putting there, but I put the wither spawning stuff right next to each other. Like, if you have a server with some people in creative mode who might spawn withers, it's not Mojang's responsibility to make the creative menu harder to use to stop that person from spawning a wither. That's not their responsibility. They should make my life as easy as possible when I want to spawn a wither in my own well-moderated server.